Good morning. Let's get ourselves prepared for another RevoCycle ride. As you can see, I'm sitting upright, pedaling extremely slowly. Extremely slowly. So just pedal easy. Sit upright, set your resistance extremely low, and just get yourself into the mindset that we're going to have a really nice ride. Tune into our bodies, do something healthy for ourselves, for body and the mind. So let's just let our arms hang down to our sides. Take a couple of nice deep breaths. Stack our weight into the vertebrae of the spine and feel the shoulders pulling down. Feel those muscles in the neck being pulled by the weight of your arms hanging down. I love that feeling. Now let's put our hands on our handlebars and make sure you just rest them nicely. I always use the heel of my hand to bear my weight there and just let my fingers remain nice and loose. And then I've checked to make sure my elbows are slightly bent. Slightly bent. It's hard to see from the front. And then my neck is aligned with the rest of the spine. I have an added benefit in keeping that in mind because the camera is out there, which reminds me to look forward. You may not have that benefit. So think about your neck and the rest of your spine being aligned. And your spine is totally neutral. Let's bring our leg speed up now. Keeping the resistance very light. Let's just come up to 80 something RPM. Anybody with a typical standard spin bike, make sure you have a little bit of resistance on now. Just remember, you don't want to pedal those bikes with no resistance on. Always have at least a little bit, so then it forces you then to propel the wheel, rather than allowing the wheel to propel your legs around in a circle. So we're about 80 to 90 RPM now with light resistance. Just feeling our way around the pedal stroke. Just noticing how the muscles feel as they engage at different parts of the pedal stroke. For sure, feeling that warmth coming into the legs. And let's focus for just a few seconds now on the decoupling of the upper body from the lower body. If you want, you can look at my hips and you can see that the lower body is acting fairly independently of the upper body. So there's a dynamic feeling in the hips. Let's get our legs to 90 RPM now. If you have a computer, go ahead and use that to adjust your cadence to around 90. If you don't, just match my leg speed. That'll get you close. Now let's just take a deep breath from a relaxed belly. There's no need to contract your abdominal muscles. In fact, it's better to keep them relaxed. Now keeping your light resistance, let's increase the leg speed. Come up to around 95. So we're adding 5 pedal strokes per minute now. You'll notice you're starting to warm up a little bit. This is what our legs need. This is what our joints need, especially the knees, at least for me. You might want to try sitting up like I am. It's a nice way to pedal light resistance in the 90 to 95 range. Helps you reinforce that idea of keeping your upper body separate from the lower body. Shake out your arms if you like. And you may notice at this point your heart rate's coming up a little bit and your breathing's picking up a little bit. That's good. Notice that. Slow our legs down again. Still at the same light resistance we had. Sit up nice and tall, stack your weight into the vertebrae again. Take a couple of nice deep breaths to feel your belly expand and pull back in. Returning to our handlebars now, picking the leg speed up to 90. RPM. Let's reach down where I think on the Kaiser bike up here, the lever. Let's add a tiny bit of resistance so that we feel it in the muscle of the legs. It's the amount of resistance where we first feel it in the muscles of the legs. It's a very light amount that we're adding. And now notice in your legs where you feel that. Notice what this might be doing to your heart rate and breathing. Let's add a little more resistance holding this pedal speed. Again, notice where you feel that in the muscles of the legs. really good time to remember that the pedal stroke is a circle. So yes, the quads are absolutely at work. That's 70% of the power into the pedals. But there's 30% more that comes from scraping through the bottom, pushing over the top. So let's think about stitching all that together smoothly. Now I can feel my breathing picking up. Perfect. Just a little bit of muscles feeling like they're working. Just a tiny, tiny bit. Let's add a little more resistance. Kind of like we went out for a bike ride together and we rode for a few minutes easy and we're slowly but surely picking up the speed. I'm most certainly feeling now that scraping of mud off the ball of the foot feeling. And I'm noticing the kind of pulsing pressure on the balls of my feet. I can feel as I unweight the pedal coming up. Using my hip flexors, I can feel as my hips engage with the pedal again. And that pressure on the ball of the foot increases slightly. Now let's shift into another gear. And this is a real gear. Now we're really working, and there's a little discomfort in the muscles of the legs. Maybe check in with your hands right now. How do they feel on the handlebars? What are your fingers doing? I can feel warmth in my muscles now. In 3, 2, 1. Keeping the resistance exactly the same. Just slow your legs down for a second and sit up tall. Yeah, heart rate up, breathing up, warmth in the muscles, a little bit of sweat. Take a little bit of water right now. Come back to our handlebars, we got the same resistance. Let's come up to about the same pedal speed that we were at. When I count you down, accelerate your legs to 100 or maybe just a little bit above. When we do that, let's make sure that our hips stay nice and stable on the saddle. Dynamic, but stable. In 3, 2, and 1. Just slowly bring your legs up to 100 or just above. Now pay attention to how much more work this is. What are your hips doing? a hard time holding this pedal speed, go ahead and take resistance out. Should be a challenge, but doable. Okay, now slow the legs down. If you look at my leg speed right now, this is about the rhythm of the song. So see if you can find that. Now for the next minute and a half or so, let's add even more resistance to the point where it feels very challenging at this rhythm. And it's at this point where we can absolutely feel the hips pushing us through the top part of the pedal stroke. Focus on just relaxing the upper body. We can do that. And if you're like me, you're starting now to get out of breath. And the legs are hurting now. There is discomfort in the muscles of the legs. I'm doing my best to just stay in the moment, breathing deeply from a relaxed belly, thinking about stitching together that full circle. Good, bring your resistance all the way down to light. Keep your legs moving. And now just let your heart rate and your breathing recover a little bit. Just breathe, pedal on light resistance. Do what we call active recovery by keeping the legs moving. And now let's get back to our handlebars. Let's just take a few seconds to internalize this rhythm, to hear it, process it, and then output it through the legs. This is a beautiful mind-body practice, so I'll just give you a few seconds to do that. A little bit tricky, isn't it? If you're having a hard time, just match my leg speed right here. Now add in a gear that you feel like you couldn't hold 10 minutes at this pedal speed. Just turn it. Notice how your legs feel. Notice what your mind says. And get that point where 10 minutes feels like about what you could do this without just huge discomfort. Let's see what that does to our breathing now. Is your belly still relaxed? What does that do to our hands? Does it make you grip the bar harder? If so, just release that. During these quiet parts, I'm checking in with my hips, I'm checking in the muscles, engaging at different parts of the pedal stroke. I'm noticing my posture, I'm releasing tension in the shoulders. That's what I'm doing. Breath starts to come up. I think about the working muscles. I think about them asking for oxygen. My body responding by increasing the breathing rate, increasing the heart rate. That's what's happening. Dial your resistance back down. Slow your legs for a second. Try putting your breathing on a scale of 1 to 10 right now. 1 is just woke up. 10 is so hard, breathing so hard that can't say a word, and then somewhere in between is your number. We're going to do a series here of hard efforts, each of them just 5-7 seconds each, really. But they're going to be very strong efforts. We're going to come out of the saddle, and as we do that, we're going to imagine that we shift the gears on our bike to 2 or 3 harder gears. And that, of course, would then create a gear that's seated. We're having a hard time turning. So we naturally then just rise up onto it in order to drive it with our body weight. We're going to be visualizing a flat road, not a hill. I've allowed my legs to align to this rhythm. this may be too fast for you to come out of the saddle on that harder gear. If so, slow down a little bit as you rise up. We want to keep it at a higher cadence so it's not like we're climbing a hill, but if this is too fast for you, standing up, just slow down. I think I will slow down. My normal thing when I come out of the saddle on a flat road is to be at a slower cadence than this. Okay, visualize that flat road. Feel that you're in a gear now where you're working at a moderate level. In 3, 2, 1. Add that gear. Keep your leg speed up, but not necessarily on the rhythm. Now come back to where we were, seated. Those are hard. My quads hurt doing that. Those of you on a fixed gear bike, a regular spin bike, make sure you add enough resistance that 5 to 7 seconds is quite challenging. Gets you out of breath. You ready for the next one? Now I'm finding I'm going to stay at the rhythm. I found the rhythm last time and I could do it. But if you can, again, just go slower. In 3, 2, 1. Add that extra 2 to 3 gears. Back to light resistance, seated. Hi. You'll notice as I am that your breath continues to rise, your heart rate continues to rise even after you sat back down. Another one? You got another one in you? You do. But of course, if you don't, stay seated. But if you think you do, join me for this third one. In 3, 2, 1. Shift 3 gears, hold the rhythm if you can. And come back. Reducing the resistance as you sit back down. In 3, and 2, and 1. Go ahead and slow your legs down. Sit up tall for just a few seconds. What's your breathing doing now? My breathing's 7 at least, maybe higher. Those are hard. You dial in just the right amount of heavy resistance, and 5 to 7 seconds of that will absolutely get you out of breath. Got me out of breath. Little mind-body practice here. We have light resistance on, and we're just going to allow our bodies find this rhythm on their own without thinking, just being. I'm going on the slow side here. You got it. Now, visualize 20 yards ahead, a steep hill where you are struggling to keep this cadence as you enter the hill. In 3, and 2, and 1. Add the resistance where this feels like a bit of a struggle. I highly encourage you to get those hips pushing over the top. I put my hands on my glutes sometimes just to feel them contracting. I can feel them. If you have your bike set up right and you're pedaling beautifully, you will feel those glutes. And you'll notice my hands just automatically went to the middle of the bars. I do this just without thinking when I'm in a hill. And let's just imagine now we're looking 5 to 10 feet ahead. Not looking at the top of the hill, just the next 5 to 10 feet. I use the line along the road as my meditative focus when I'm climbing. All I see is that yellow line, and I just follow it about 6 inches to the left. I notice all kinds of things about the quality of the surface. It really becomes intensely my focus, and I also feel my muscles working. I keep track of what my body is doing, how it's feeling. Bring your resistance back down to light. What did that do to your breathing? If you feel like it, you're welcome to stand up, take some pressure off your hips, and stretch your calves a little bit. This is something I normally do riding outdoors anyway. You can hear my breathing, it's probably 8 now. Feel my heart beating in my chest. All of those signs of hard work. When you're ready, come back to your handlebars. Wherever light resistance, pedaling slowly. Our next move is to do a couple of sprints in the saddle. A sprint is all out. On a bike, that means a little over 100 RPM, maybe a little bit, up to 110, with a resistance that's so heavy that you could not hold the effort for 40-45 seconds. That's a sprint. We'll do 2 of them for about 10 to 12 seconds. So we're not going to be cooked by the end of each little sprint, but we're going to be in the neighborhood. All right? And then think to yourself, could I hold this 40-45 seconds? Tune into how your muscles are feeling. Tune into the effort level. And then we'll evaluate after each one. You ready? Settle your arms, shoulders, elbows, hands. Get really relaxed. In 3, 2, 1. Add the resistance. Come up to over 100. And slow your legs. Notice your breath keeps coming up even after we slow and reduce the resistance. Now let's think. Could have done that another 30 to 40 seconds. I think I probably could have. I think I'm going to add a little bit more for this next one. It's going to be a subjectively more uncomfortable experience. And then I'll evaluate after that. All right, let's get to our handlebars. Do your body scan, settle your upper body down. Maybe take a deep breath in 3, in 2, and 1. Sprint 10 to 12 seconds. And slow your legs. Reduce your resistance. Do your integration now. One more. Let's come to our handlebars. Take a deep breath. In 3, in 2, and 1. Accelerate the legs, add the resistance. Sprint mode. Examine if you could do this for 45 seconds. And dial your resistance back down. Oh. Time to cool down. Get your resistance way low. Slow your legs. Let's together integrate that experience. 3 sprints. Each felt different to me. First one, even though I had the lightest resistance, was the most uncomfortable. I added resistance for the second one. And it felt a little bit better than the first. And I was more in line with 45 seconds would be hard to hold this. The last one, I added even more resistance. And I was certain that I could not hold it 45 seconds. But strangely, it felt the best to me. I felt good. I felt strong and smooth. Even though it was the hardest effort. Lower your resistance down some more. Right now we're paying attention to the breath slowing down. And right now, the thought about all those healthy exercise-released proteins, exerkines, as they're called now in the literature, or exerkines, myokines, those released from the muscle. All kinds of healthy stuff right now is happening to the body and the mind. We did a very good thing. Make sure your breath is slowing, your heart rate's coming down. I'm going to let my legs slow to a stop because my breathing is way down now. If yours isn't, just keep going slowly till it is. And as I come to a stop, I sit up nice and tall and I stack that weight in my vertebrae again. And I feel it in the sit bones on the saddle. I let my shoulders hang down. Let's stand up. 3 and 9 o'clock. Drop your heels. I'm just going to take us through the calf stretch. Let you stretch your quads and hamstrings on your own. I'll leave the music going for you. So our feet at 3 and 9 o'clock, dropping the heels. And now come around. Put the back foot to the front and again drop your heels. I love this stretch. It feels so good. My calves get so tight. Swing a leg over the bike. I'll leave the music going. Stretch your calves. Stretch your quads. Stretch your hamstrings. Drink your water. And relax.